Assalamualaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ANEESAH RAZI, Chairman of the Board Director of Nestle Malaysia. And on behalf of the board, I welcome all of you to the 37th Annual General Meeting of Nestle Malaysia. This is our first fully virtual AGM, held live from the broadcast venue at meeting room number 3 at Nestle Center. This AGM is convened in a fully virtual manner to safeguard the well-being of members and employees of the company due to the COVID-19 pandemic that is affecting all of us. Before proceeding any further, I confirm from the company secretary, we have a quorum to proceed with this meeting. Here at the broadcast venue, we have Company Financial Manager, Ms. NURSHAZWANI, Company Accountant, Ms. AMIRA ADIBAH, and Ms. NURLIANA, our shareholder representative and our largest shareholder. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of the 37th Annual General Meeting dated 30 April 2021 was circulated to you well above the statutory requirement. I'm sure that you have already noticed. With your permission, I shall take you to the first agenda to receive the financial statement year ended 31 December 2020 have accordingly been issued to you together with notice convening the AGM. I shall pass the meeting to Ms. NURSHAZWANI.
Thank you to our chairman. Assalamualaikum and good morning shareholders and fellow directors. First of all, let me explain the statement of the financial position of the company in 2020 and show the comparison between 2020 and the previous year. First and foremost, our company's total assets have increased by 134.8 million over the previous year. This performance shows that the company is still able to survive despite having to close some branches for the year 2020. Furthermore, the total liabilities also increased by 242.6 million, meaning that the company is still performing well. Apart from that, the total equities decreased from 664.9 million to 557.1 million. Then I will proceed to a statement of profit and loss. To begin, the gross profit for our company is 1,965.5 billion. Followingly, the operating profit is 756 million. And last but not least, the profit after taxation is 552.7 million. So moving on to the liquidity ratio. Our company's current ratio has declined slightly to 0.65%, where it still showed good performance in ability to pay for short-term obligations for the year 2020. Furthermore, the quick ratio slowly increased from 4.28 times to 5.45 times, which means that our company is still able to pay off the loans in 2020, and it is also proof that we can obtain short-term loans without having the liquidate inventories, trade, or other receivables. For the further explanation of the analysis, I shall pass it to our company accountant, Ms. AMIRA ADIBAH.
Thank you, Ms. NURSHAZWANI, for presenting the liquidity ratio of the company. Next, I will analyze the efficiency ratio in 2020. For inventory turnover, Nestle has 5.77 times in 2020, which is slower compared to 2019. Nonetheless, Nestle has done its best to adapt to the new normal by evolving according to consumer trends, by capturing growth opportunities such as accelerated e-commerce and increasing demand for home delivery products. Then, fixed assets turnover. In 2019, our company had a better fixed asset turnover, which is 3.34 times compared to 3.04 times in 2020. Although it is decreasing, it is still much greater than the industry ratio, which is 2.19 times, showing that we are generating sales effectively from existing fixed assets. Moreover, average collection period. Nestle has fewer days to collect debt from debtors, which is 31.44 days in the year 2020. This shows that we managed to collect our receivables in fewer days in 2020, conveys that we are systematic in collecting debts compared to other industries, which are 53.22 days. Our company is much better at it. Besides that, we move to the total assets turnover. Nestle's total asset turnover for the year 2019 is slightly higher than in the year 2020. Despite that, our company is able to generate more sales because we implement modern plants and machinery in 2020. Then, I will present the profitability ratio. For gross profit margin, in 2020, Nestle has a gross profit margin of 36.32%, which is lower than 2019 because the cost of goods sold increased steadily for the past 5 years. We are able to coherently control the cost of goods sold relative to its sales revenue. For operating profit margin is compared to the previous year, OPM for 2019 is higher than OPM in 2020. It shows that our performance in generating profit through its core operation is decreasing by 2.56%, but still, the company managed to have higher OPM compared to its industry. Proceed to net profit margin. If compared to the previous year, NPM for 2019 is higher than NPM in 2020. In 2019, the company earned 12 cents for every 1 ringgit generated from sales. Compared to in 2020, the company earned 10 cents for every 1 ringgit generated from sales. For return on total assets, Nestle generates more return from investment in the year 2019, decreasing 5.03% for the year 2020. This is because we utilized advanced property, plants and equipment while maintaining revenue in 2020, making the percentage lower than in 2019. Even though in 2020, most of the ratios are decreasing, however, we are still managed to stand still stronger despite many challenges to overcome. With that, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for the great presentation, Miss NURSHAZWANI and Miss AMIRA ADIBAH. The best ratio were mostly in 2019, but certain ratios had a positive impact on our company in 2020 as well. Now, I shall proceed to the next agenda. As we all know about the upcoming project, therefore, I would like to officially announce our company has decided to buy a new factory that will cost us 200 million. It is no easy task. The analysis of the financial position explained previously shows the company's capabilities are in a good shape to start a new fresh project.
Therefore, to start the new project, we need a lot of cost to cover, so I advise getting additional funds by lending from financial institutions.
We estimated a lack of funds of about 50% to buy a new factory. We can obtain a loan from our trustable bank, CIMB Bank.
This will be taken into consideration. My team and I will prepare a proposal to submit to CIMB Bank about this loan agreement.
Great, I would like the project to be successful. As you all know, 2020 is an unfortunate year due to coronavirus, but yet our company still delivers another yet resilient result in 2020. Now, we shall start with the Q&A session with members. We received a lot of questions from the shareholders. Our shareholder representative, Ms. NURLIANA, will be the one that represent the other owner to ask the question. So now, I will hand you back to Ms. NURSHAZWANI and Ms. AMIRA ADIBAH to answer most of the questions.
Thank you, Ms. ANEESAH, the company chairman. Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am Ms. NURLIANA, the shareholder representative of the company. Like the chairman said, 2020 is an unfortunate year. So, we as the shareholders are very concerned with the company ability to pay the dividend. For the year 2019, Nestle distribute RM2.80 per share, translating into dividend payout ratio 98.75%, which is also the highest in its history. May I know, is the dividend payout ratio sustainable in the year 2021?
Our aim is to maintain the same payout amount of RM2.32 per share as for the year 2020. However, that will be subject to the usual regulatory requirement on capital and liquidity and the next after tax that we will report. In line with the group's commitment to deliver resilient and sustainable value to its shareholders. Nevertheless, we are confident we will be able to sustain a solid dividend payout for the next year. Our shareholders may rest assured.
The second question is, did the percentage of total income from the equity are getting better or became worse for this year? I am really looking forward to this and hope that it did not disappoint me.
First of all, I'm sorry to announce this, but the income from the equity this year has decreased 1.99% from the year 2019, which is 99.21%. However, despite facing the unexpected obstacle, which is coronavirus, our company has tried its best to retain the best percentage of return on total equity for this year.
For the last question, in terms of profitability and sales of the company, did the company record a good performance? Yes, again, due to the pandemic, the food and beverage industry is affected. We are very concerned about this.
The company recorded stable profit margins for the full year of 2020 with a profit before tax of 724.8 million ringgit and profit after tax of 555.7 million ringgit. The contraction against 2019 was mainly due to the impact of COVID-19 and significant COVID-19 related expenses amounting to 62 million ringgit, which was invested into pandemic relief efforts and comprehensive measures to preserve employee safety and operational continuity. While the company's core F&B business sales grew by 2.3% for the year, thanks to the strong sales execution and engaging brand initiatives that serve to improve Malaysian spirits in a difficult environment.
Here is some good news for all. 2020 is such a tough year for most industries in the world, including our company. To sustain the profitability of a company is not that easy. It takes a lot of courage and strength to handle it. Thus, as a shareholder representative, I am really interested in the new project of our company. So, I have decided to increase some capital for this company to ensure its growth. I hope this will help our company to gain more profit, and I hope that everyone will work harder for this company for the years to come.
From the lowest of my heart, I am so blessed to hear that. Thank you so much, Ms. NURLIANA, for being understanding and for keeping your trust in our company. Surely, we will work harder to make Nestle such a successful company for the upcoming year. I think there's no more question from the shareholders, so I will hand back the floor to the chairman.
Okay, thank you. As we do not have any other matter or consideration notice of any other business to be transacted at this meeting, so before I proceed to adjourn this meeting on behalf of the board, I would like to record my appreciation to everyone who committed to this meeting to make this meeting a successful virtual AGM for us. Ladies and gentlemen, as there's no other business to be transacted at this AGM, I now declare the meeting is closed. Thank you very much for your support and participation. Assalamualaikum and good evening, Ms. AYUNNI. Thank you for your time. As you know, we are here to discuss the loan and get the bank's approval. Together with me here is our company's financial manager and accountant.
Assalamualaikum and good evening, Ms. AYUNNI. I'm NURSHAZWANI, representing the financial manager of this company. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And here, my name is AMIRA ADIBAH as a Nestle Malaysia accountant.
Waalaikumsalam and good evening, Miss ANEESAH, Miss NURSHAZWANI and Miss AMIRA ADIBAH. It's my pleasure to meet all of you. I'm a loan official of CIMB Bank who will be in charge of your loan application.
Without delaying anymore, let's get into the business. Ms. NURSHAZWANI, you may start.
Thank you. As you already know, our company needed a total of 200 million for the new project. However, we still need 50% of the funds. We would like to acquire a loan of 100 million for the purpose of expanding our factory in Selangor. Thus, for our company to appeal that we are worthy to have CIMB Bank lend the amount of money, we have issued to you our financial statements, which are income statements, statements of cash flow, balance sheet and our financial ratios. I will highlight to you our debt ratio, debt to equity ratio and time interest earned. Firstly, for the year 2020, our debt ratio is 80.53%, which is relatively higher compared to 2019, which is 75.61%. Although this would mean our company is backed 80% by the long-term debt and is more dependent on debt to generate profit, still means our asset is more than debt and it's still manageable. Next is the debt to equity ratio. For 2020 is 87.48%, higher than 61.19% in 2019. Our company is financing operations through debt. Although higher debt to equity is associated with high risk, but our debt is used to finance growth. We have the potential to generate more earnings that it would have without that financing. The reason for our high ratio is because we have invested in a major project. Eventually, we will make a profit on the investment and our ratio will eventually fall to normal. And it's important for you to note that our industry requires a higher debt to equity ratio. Furthermore, the time interest earn ratio for our company for the year 2020 has decreased from 22.43 times in 2019 to 21.32 times in 2020. Although our company's ability to meet interest obligations is decreasing, our ratio is lower because our earnings are used for investment and in fact, we would have a higher rate of return. Although the company had a reduction of the debt ratio during the pandemic, the company was capable of managing our debt management without decreasing other values.
Thank you, Ms. NURSHAZWANI, for the explanation. I would like to share my point of view about the leverage ratio before continuing to decide to give your company our loan to expand your business. First of all, I can examine that your company leverage ratio does not meet the expectation of the bank to improve the loan to your business company. As we can see, your company debt ratio in 2020 is increased compared to 2019. In my view, I admit that your company will not be able to pay the loan since your company has to pay more for the long-term debt that may risk the finance. From what I see, if we give a loan to you, our banks are not in a favorable situation. Next, we proceed to the debt to equity ratio. For the year 2020, the debt to equity ratio of your company is too high and might be risky to maintain the long-term debt, and it's obvious that your time interest earned does not have the ability to meet the interest obligations. But if your company still wants to proceed with the loan, our interest is quite high, and from your income statement, I'm afraid that your company is not able to pay. The interest rate is charged up to 6% of interest on the total loan amount.
6% of interest is quite a burden for us. We humbly request to make some deduction for the interest rate. Not only that, may I know the loan tenure for the loan?
This loan tenure is a maximum of 10 years. However, if your company would be able to pay the loan before the 7th year, we will decrease the interest to 5%. So, good financial management of your company is really advised. And can your company put up any collateral for the security of the loan in the event your company cannot repay it?
Yes, of course. Our collateral value for this loan only amounted to 45 million ringgit.
Could you give me a minute for me to analyze everything again? I will get back to you and give my decision. After analyzing your credit score, credit history and all of the financial statements your company has given to us, unfortunately, we have to reject your loan. Your leverage ratio is not meeting our requirement, especially within your industry. Your financial ratios show a bad performance, although your credit history gives a good impression.
We understand the decision made. I guess our business has reached its end. Thank you for helping us. It's a pleasure to meet you and I wish you a pleasant day.